Hello everyone, this is my presentation using lab-based geoarchaeological methods to investigate the Peter Village enclosure. Peter Village, a site delineated by an earthen enclosure, is an example of the production of space in the Middle Ohio Valley. Located in what is today Fayette County, Kentucky, Peter Village was part of the larger Mount Orab complex, a ritual landscape with evidence suggesting that it operated largely from the early to middle woodland periods. Peter Village is notable because it is one of the largest enclosures in the region. Though the site's name suggests otherwise, Peter Village is not a village site. People did not live there permanently. Though its exact purpose remains unknown, previous research suggests Peter Village could have been some sort of production site. After more recent investigations at the site, new questions began to emerge. Of particular interest was how exactly the site was delineated by the earthen enclosure. The four methods currently being used to investigate the enclosure are LiDAR-derived visualizations, soil core descriptions, magnetic susceptibility, and loss on ignition. LiDAR data was analyzed using the Relief Visualization Toolbox, which enhances archaeological features by focusing on the detection of small-scale landscape features that are more likely to be anthropogenic in nature. The toolbox enhanced and detected not only a ditch and inner embankment, but potentially a second outer embankment as well. Detailed soil core descriptions involved analyzing 8 soil cores taken across the perimeter of the enclosure. The soil samples were analyzed for texture, color, boundaries, horizon designations, and inclusions. The soil core profiles are then compared to the test core to see if there are varying soil patterns in any cores, suggesting anthropogenic interference, such as construction activities related to the enclosure. Then, the soil from the cores were measured in 5 centimeter intervals for magnetic susceptibility, which is the ability for something to be magnetized. The samples were then put into the MS2B, which is a lab-based device that measures both high and low frequency susceptibility, as well as the frequency dependent. These values are compared to the test core values, as well as analyzed for any exceptionally high or low values. Magnetic susceptibility can detect different soils, especially those that have been altered by humans, which can provide insight into whether there are multiple embankments or not, depending on the resulting values. After the samples are measured for magnetic susceptibility, they can then be measured for loss on ignition, which measures the amount of organic material as well as calcium carbonate in a soil sample. Both are proxies for human activity. The samples are burned at 550 degrees Celsius for 4 hours and then again at 1000 degrees Celsius for 2 hours to calculate the percentage of organic material and calcium carbonate in each sample respectively. The samples' percentages are then compared to the test core and abnormal measurements are noted and further observed. Abnormal percentages of organic materials and or calcium carbonate could suggest human altered soils, therefore suggesting the presence of fill or earth moving events. Using this multiple method approach, I hope to gain insight into the delineation of space at the Peter Village site. Understanding the relationship of the ditch to the embankment or possible embankments will contribute to a better understanding of how people using the site engaged with the enclosure as a monument, as well as potentially information regarding how the monument was used to influence and facilitate social interactions.